Good afternoon, everybody. If you're watching live, thank you very much. If you're watching this later on, thank you very much. But if you're watching live, I'm 23 seconds into the future. That means it's 23 seconds for me doing it live before it goes out and you actually get to hear it and watch it. And that's called lag time between what I'm doing and how it gets to everybody else. So I'm 23 seconds into the future. Welcome to the future, I guess. Today, I'm nursing a sore throat, which I've always have. It's kind of perpetual with me. I apologize for bringing it up again. We're talking about signs, 5 signs. Signs are an interesting thing, especially when you're talking about spiritual matters, about signs and wonders. I'm not poo-pooing or doubting any of that at all. I believe in signs and wonders. I believe what the Bible tells us about them, but that's not where we're going today. There was a couple things that I heard in passing. Heard from my wife because she saw it online, and you know how when you hear things online, it may or may not be true, but they kind of fit a little bit today. I know of a friend from many, many years ago. She was flying this past weekend from Atlanta to Denver, and the plane got they had to go to Dallas instead because of something that happened on board. There was a lady that sat down in a seat and would not get up to save her life. She said God told her to sit in that seat. No, maybe God prodded you to get on a plane to go to a particular place, but to sit in that particular seat, I'm seriously doubting that actually happened. And then that was one story, actually, through actually a friend of the family or an acquaintance of the family. Another one was, and I don't know the circumstances, but he was claiming he could do this because he was Jesus Christ. Now, he's not the last person to do this, and he's not the first person to do this. All kinds of people all through history, for one reason or another, claim that they are Jesus Christ. That has come back. And no, I don't think so. There is only one, and when he comes back, we'll all know it. So from that, we're talking about signs, and I'm basically just going to share 5 signs that you may be leaning towards starting a YouTube channel, your very own YouTube channel, which is kind of cool. Now, story from my past. When I was in high school, I got involved in a church, and that church was instrumental in introducing me to a relationship with Jesus Christ, and for that I'm grateful. But just as soon as that happened, between my senior year in high school, everything seemed to point toward me going to a small Bible college in the East Coast, New Brunswick, Canada. And I went, oh, well, if that's what I'm supposed to do, that's what I'm supposed to do. And that was a terrible way to take that. Should I have gone there? Yes, absolutely. But to say, if that's what I'm supposed to do, no, not really. No, I don't think so. Now, I'm grateful for the education that I got there. I'm grateful for where it led me. But signs? Already I'm rambling, and I'm not even into the 5 points yet. So, but maybe I should get to the 5 points. These are some signs that maybe, just maybe, you in your semi-retired or retirement life right now, maybe you are inclined towards starting a YouTube channel. And so let me lean into those 5 for just a minute. The first one is that, and I'm using notes because I got to, is restlessness, boredom. You're retired. You've done the big retirement trip. You've done this. You've done that. You started a garden. You've started to learn how to knit. mittens for kittens. You've just learned how to do that. You're just kind of leaning into those things that you think retirement is. I'm going to get to work on my vehicle and do some stuff with my vehicle. I'm going to lean into some hobbies. Maybe it's model trains or whatever it is. For some people, it's creating a cabin out on some land that they own in the woods, which is be really cool, especially in Colorado, where you go up into the mountains, get a little piece of property, and put a cabin on it. That would be nice. But maybe with all of those things, now some things that people choose to do in retirement, they're not bored at all. They're busy beyond measure. But maybe you're a person that's in retirement and you're just you're doing all the things retired people do, everything from maybe playing extra tennis to pickleball to golf to whatever. But in the back of your mind, and maybe even in a little bit of a corner of your heart, you feel just a little bit bored, like there's something else you could be doing. There's something else you could be doing. And that boredom may be saying you've still got something in you that you want to share with the world. I mean, and I'm living this. This is my YouTube channel is basically this, is I feel like I want to share with the world the opportunity that I'm taking right now. So that's the first thing, is there just may be a little inkling, and it may be a sign. Sign from God? No, just a sign that maybe there's something else that you could be doing, and maybe you could do it on YouTube. Now, the second sign is you're sitting around and you're watching TV, or maybe you're watching YouTube, or maybe you're watching YouTube TV, or you're just watching in general, and just basically watching and not participating in any particular thing. But you see some people on there and you go, I've done that for 40 years. I know exactly what he's talking about. Not only that, is I think I could teach a better way of doing it. And maybe he's trying to see these things and going, I know how to do that, and I could actually teach it. This is the idea of envy. Wow, I wish I was that guy, because he's teaching what I teach. I know what he's teaching, and he's got 200,000 followers, and he's actually making some pretty good money on YouTube. You could do that. Yes, you can do that, which is really, really cool. A really cool thing. But maybe you're envious of that 20-something-year-old that's teaching something that you've got decades of experience, and he's got weeks of experience, or maybe months, and he's teaching it. Now, I get the entire concept that when you start something on YouTube, all you need to be is 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you're talking to. That doesn't make you an expert. That just makes you 1 or 2 steps ahead. It's like hiking a trail. Somebody's in front, and he's basically saying, hey, just follow me. We're heading this way. He doesn't know what's over the next hill, but he is the one in the lead, and we're following suit. But to sit there and watch and be envious of other people on their YouTube channels, thinking, I know this stuff and I can do it. Yes, you know this stuff and you can do it, but they're the ones on YouTube. And you're a little bit envious that they're doing it and you're not. Now, what you do with that is entirely up to you. That's the second sign. The third sign is, and this is something that most people miss entirely, and that is an itch. Now, I do have, not as a prop, but I got a back scratcher. It sits in my office, so I can scratch my back because I get itchy. I have one in my bedroom. I have one out there in the living room / dining room area. And I have one that's always in my suitcase, so that when I go somewhere, I always have a back scratcher with me. I'm just itchy, and I want to be able to reach. Not as flexible as I wish I was. But yeah, but there's an itch that needs to be scratched. And you may just be feeling an itch that you've still got something left in the tank and you want to share it. And one of the easiest things to do is just not scratch the itch. It's real easy to do nothing. Let's be honest. It's real easy to do absolutely nothing. You just don't do stuff. But is that what you want to do the rest of your life? Nothing? we got to go back and talk about boredom a little bit, because that would be boring. That's the third thing. The fourth thing is math. It's ratio. There's this concept that is all through social media, where they tell you to stop consuming and start creating. You're either a consumer or a creator. And some people say, well, I'm a 60-40 kind of guy, or I'm a 70-30 kind of guy. I consume a lot, but then I create a little. Well, there's a vast majority of us who all they do is watch, and they don't create anything. And this may be an itch of you thinking, there's this idea that you put yourself up on YouTube, and it's going to be there as long as YouTube is there. It's going to be there as long as YouTube is there. And you're just cracking the ratio of becoming a creator, more of a creator, less of a consumer. Now, I get up in the morning and I watch some YouTube videos. I follow some particular people and I watch YouTube videos. And I'm basically trying to learn more about YouTube. That is what I'm trying to do. And that's good. That's good for me to be able to try and do that. But I also have to create. And so what I've done is I've committed myself to 2 videos a week. And right now, I don't know if you can hear anything in the background, but I'll tell you what. Okay, they're being a little quiet. We're having the kitchen redone. So they're facing all of our cabinets, putting new facing on it, putting in doors, whole new doors, new kitchen countertop, which isn't coming for a few days. But yeah, that's what they're doing. Is they're redoing the kitchen. I'm kind of condemned to my office, which is fine, but there's a little bit of noise in the background. That's how it is. And I'm not sure where I got off with that, other than, hey, listen, I guess I was talking about I'm doing 2 videos a week, and I had every excuse not to do anything. And I'm not I'm ashamed. I'm not in the least bit ashamed, but sometimes you are. I really don't want people to know what I'm doing. And I just said, just forget about it. So I got a whiteboard sign and markers. I got my tripod, my phone, hat, sunglasses, took the dog. We went out in the backyard, and I did a video in the backyard with all of this stuff, right in clear view of the kitchen window, where these guys could look out and wonder what in the world I'm doing. So when I'm done, I come back in. And when I come back in, he says, what were you doing, making a video? And I said, yes. He says, do you have a YouTube channel? And I said, yes, I do. I said, I'm retired. I'm having fun at it. And it's a really good hobby. And I really, really like it. And didn't tell him what it was for, because he is not my target audience. And it's just fun. And I told him that. And that I really enjoy it. All that kind of stuff. But I got over that initial fear, as it were, of thinking that people are going to judge me or think of me, different light. And guess what? Doesn't matter. Which brings me to the 5th sign, and that's fear. Now, how is fear a sign? Yeah, this is actually the one that hits the hardest, because you've gone through an entire house or an entire lifetime of a career of losing jobs, getting new jobs, maybe moving out of state somewhere else. I've done that where I moved from Canada to Buffalo, New York, to Ohio, North Carolina. Now I live in Colorado. We've done a little bit of moving around. We really like Colorado. We've lived here 26 years now. We really, really like it. And we're kind of done being afraid of stuff. We really are. We're not afraid of moving. We're not afraid of doing some things. But here's the thing. There's a lot of people like you guys have probably gone through all kinds of things, hard times, great times, amazing times, moves, all these things. And yet we're afraid to get in front of a camera and talk to a lens. We're just, it's just it's just a little fear that pops up. And it's just something that you really have to conquer and dismiss. Why is that a sign? It's something to conquer and dismiss. Don't let fear say you can't do it, because you can. And maybe you should, and maybe you will. And I encourage you to do so. So anyway, those are the 5 fears. I'm not going to go over them again because I'll just start talking about them all over again. So, yeah. So there's the signs. There's the 5 things for you to think about. Leave a comment. Tell me which one hits with you or resonates with you, which one really grabs you a little bit. And I appreciate you taking the time to listening to me for a few minutes. It's been about 50 minutes, so I'm going to just kind of cut it off, and we'll move on from there. And I'm on every Tuesday at 2 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 4 o'clock. So if you're on the East Coast, you've just gotten up from your nap, you may as well tune in and give me a listen. And I'd love to have conversations. I'd love to have comments pop up so that those comments I can answer and start making videos about the comments. So think about that. If you got a comment about YouTube, growing a YouTube channel, starting a YouTube channel, which my YouTube channel is very, very young, but starting a YouTube channel, think about that and think about the opportunity of joining me and asking any question. And if I get some good questions, they will turn into the videos that I will be doing. I've got a list of videos that I'm doing, but your comments, your questions preempt anything that I've got planned. Fair enough? Great. Other than that, you guys have a great week, a great weekend coming up, and I'll see you next week. Thanks again.